Welcome back, friends and neighbors, to another episode of R-TAC and Daughters. And today we're in our second video, since it's September 1st, in the beginning of World War II, of combatant armed nations. So, we are talking about the Polish AZ k98 rifle version. So we're going to get in a little bit of a little confusion with this rifle, because this is a Polish rifle set in a German k98 stock. So we'll talk about this here in a minute, and I'll tell you why. So here we go. Here's what I want to do: show you the markings here. So we see it clearly says k98. Doesn't say k98K. I've already talked about that in the German video. So this is a Polish 1925 k98 RFK, the Polish crest, and it was made by Random, I guess, in 1925. So, and then we'll see here, we'll get a history here in a minute. You see, we got like, these used to have a larger handguard on it, and now we'll turn it up now. Of course, this gun is unloaded. So here we go. We'll look at where the handguard used to be. So the handguard used to stretch from here all the way to here, kind of like a Turkish Mauser or some of the Czechoslovakian Mausers. And this one stops right here because this is where the K98 would stop. It's actually the same action. It is a K98 action in a German K98 stock. It is laminate. We can tell that by the stock. Germans love laminate stocks for sure, and they are nice. This is again another nice laminate stock with a reproduction K98 sling. We have the H-band up here. We have the bayonet lugs, and then we have the ears, the protecting ears on the K90 or on the Polish Mauser or the Polish K98. It's kind of like the World War I German. What is it? The AZ German Kar 98s from World War I carbines. So, what's the deal here with this one? Well, this was another Bubba rifle that I saved. These Polish K98 rifles were based on the World War I German. We'll get that here a little longer. Let's see. And you'll see Brady back there. It's okay, Brady. Brady's visiting us again, as you can tell. I can see Brady laying in the gun cleaning the rest. He's sleeping, purring, living on everybody like he always does. So anyway, here's another. There's the stock, the serial number. So after World War I and the Polish nation started to exist again, of course, this rifle is safety checked. See, Brady safety checked it. We'll get a chamber. There's the rail chamber. Relatively clean. 8 mil. Yeah. Might see some. You get a good picture of the chamber there. You start seeing the rifle lands in there. Again, it needs another good cleaning. I took it out and shot it a couple months ago, and I cleaned the barrel out. I just didn't clean. I didn't do a deep cleaning on it. So anyway, during World War I, like I said, after the Polish nation began, and because of the Treaty of Versailles, the Germans had to pay reparations to lots of countries, including the U.S. So in Poland, what they did was they gave them, first they made them X amount of Polish military rifles, or they made rifles for Poland. And this is not one of them because it's 1925. They also had to give them machinery for the K98s, for carbines, basically. So they gave them machinery and training on how to make their own rifles. Because at this point in time, Poland standardized on 8mm Mauser as their cartridge. So that means even they had all kinds of weapons that they were using, from 1917 Enfields to Model 91 Nagants that they had rechambered to 8mm Mauser. Yes, they exist, and they're out there. They're hard to find. When you get a hold of one, then you got something still special. So, with that being said, so they start making these rifles on their own, on machinery that they got from Germany from World War I as reparations. So they made their own version of the K98s, and this is it, and they called it the WZ, and it's based on the German Kar-98 of World War I. These rifles are built just excellently, really good. You'll see a lot of them in here, and they kind of use like a paint. That's not, as you can see, it's wearing off here. It's not bluing. They kind of like use shellac type paint or whatever like that. We'll get a better view here of Brady sleeping in the box, but of the Warsaw RFK version of the K98 for Poland. Of course, you got stripper grip glides and all that. So, pretty much a standard 8mm rifle, but this is one of the rifles that the Polish army carried during World War I. Now, of course, World War II. Of course, we know that all the Polish jokes and how we know that the Polish cavalry charged German tank formations during the war, and a lot of people think that's funny. Well, that actually did happen at least once, and the Poles are not the only ones that did it, but also the Italians did it in World War II against the Russians. And each time that this was done, the cavalry troops outmaneuvered and actually won. So when the Poles did this, when they did a cavalry attack against a German armor, the armor was actually not set up in battle formation. They were at rest, and the cavalry came through. And then, of course, there are some accounts where they did charge tank formations towards the end, and that was because they had nothing else to lose. And that's where all those, where all those Polish, dumb Polak jokes come from, which are undeserving because of this. The Poles fought brilliantly for what they had against a very superior army with better tactics. And after all, the Soviets did attack them in the east and met the Germans in the middle way. So Poland had no chance against the Germans and the Russians. And then they were really abandoned by the British and the French because they sit in the phony war out on the Western Front there and did nothing to help the Poles until afterwards, and then it was too late. And then the rest of the time, the Poles would have used these against the Russians and the Germans again when they were trying to get their freedom back, and until the Iron Curtain fell, until the Polish were free again. This was imported sometime in the 70s, I believe, for it to be chopped up when the market was surplus. I don't know where it came from and how it got here. Of course, the Germans would reissue captured Mauser-type rifles. They did it in Czechoslovakia. They did it in, of course, Poland. They did it in, they reissued everything because they were short on arms as well. They might have made 12 million K98s during World War II, but they had more than 15 million men in arms, but they didn't have 15 million men at one time, and they didn't have enough rifles. So you'll see German units, definitely second line units using Polish K98s. You'd see some of them using, like the Russian Army Liberation would use Model 91s. Some of the troops that occupied France used French Lebels and Berthier rifles. And by the way, in our World War II series, since officially September 1st started off World War II with the invasion of Poland, France was also there, and I've already done the Berthier 5-shot World War I version of the rifle, which would cover World War II as well. I do have an infield, but it'll be later on. It's not a early war infield, it's a jungle carbine, and we'll do that as well. So, but this, basically, I just want to give you a look at a Polish K98. Which is, as you notice, it just says K98, doesn't say K98K. Most German Mausers all say Model 98 only on them. So, again, Czechoslovakia, FN, Yugoslavia, all made Mausers in 8mm, and the Germans used them. Just like the G33 Mauser that were used with the split bridge mountain carbine, which are great. I don't have one of those. A friend of mine does. And again, these are just as good as German Mausers. It's in a K98 stock because I don't have a WZ stock, which I would like to find a Polish stock. I could put it in a World War I German stock and it would still be right, but it wouldn't be a Polish stock. So I really want to find a Polish stock for it. So anyway, hey, if you got some 8mm Mausers or K98s or have questions about them, throw down there in the comments below, and I'll try to answer best as I can. Remember, if you asked about markings and things like that, you can usually look those up online by Googling them pretty easy. Of course, no one has Brady, but that's just how he is when we're down here in the man cave. Isn't that right, Brady? So anyway, remember, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're over 600 subscribers. We'll do a 700 subscriber giveaway too. And we're going to do a special 762 subscriber giveaway. Before we get to 800, of course, our goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Remember, folks, it costs nothing to be nice to one another. In this day and age, we need it. And please help the channel out by liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below if you like World War II rifles. If there's a World War II rifle you would like to see, drop a comment down below. If I got it, I'll do it. Or if I get a hold of it, I'll do it on it. The k98 versions of this will be elaborate, and a lot of them, because they made a lot of different models of the k98s, and they came out in different years. So next in our next rifle series, even though Austria was already part of the Reich at this time, we're going to do the Austrian rifle next. And remember, like, share, and subscribe again for the third time, because I keep forgetting I said it. And Brady says, thank you all for watching the channel, and come back and see us again. And sometimes Brady will probably be in the next video as well. And we'll catch you guys next time.